It was only yesterday, remember, Abby, where Trump said, we're done. We won. We're going to get out. It's over. It's going to be over very, very soon. That's what he said yesterday. And today he deployed 2,500 Marines and sent them toward Carg Island. It's going to take him 2 weeks to get there. And he abandoned any timelines for the war. It says it's going to take as long as it takes. So it's clear that the president has made a decision that he's going to escalate against the Iranians. And they're announcing that they're going to escalate against us. If we do that, and that just takes the region and the world into further economic chaos, further disruption, higher prices, higher inflation, more instability, more shortages, more migration, more extremism, and a war that lasts for months and months. And someone's got to find an off-ramp, or that's exactly what's going to happen, quite unfortunately.
What is the off-ramp?
Well, Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel have just drug us into a region-wide bloody conflict. And no, I don't mean just Iran. I don't. This is Old Texas Paul. Hope your coffee's as good as mine. Hell, I hope it's better. You need to understand a little bit about Israel. Benjamin Netanyahu's government is far right, but it does not have the support needed to keep Benjamin Netanyahu prime minister. It doesn't have the votes. It has to coalesce with very radical, extreme right-wing parties in Israel. These are the worst of the worst. They're talking about Bezalel Smotrich. I'm talking about Itamar Ben-Gvir. These people believe Israel's northern border is not its northern border. They believe its northern border is the Litani River in Lebanon, just north of the Lebanese city of Tyre. It bisects southern Lebanon. It runs east to west. This was the point of all of this. We are there. We got suckered into a conflict with Iran by Benjamin Netanyahu because our president is the stupidest damn president we have ever had. Our Secretary of Defense is the stupidest damn Secretary of Defense we've ever had. These idiots got us drug into a regional conflict because Israel is invading southern Lebanon as we speak. They've already started the bombing campaign. They've already massed the troops on Israel's northern border. The moment they do that, that is a bright red line for most Muslims in the region. Mohammed bin Salman in Saudi Arabia loses the support of his people the moment Israel crosses that border. It's just a fact. He's going to have to attack Israel or lose the support of his people. Ahmed al-Shara in Syria is currently fighting Muslim extremists in Syria. Actually, he's not. We are. We have troops on the ground fighting them for him. The moment Israel crosses that line, they coalesce together. Those extremists support al-Shara against Israel, just like they did when they supported al-Shara to actually seize control of Syria. You have Turkey north of that. They vehemently oppose Israel moving north to the Litani River. But Benjamin Netanyahu suckered us into attacking Iran and keeping Iran tied up and out of this conflict so he could do this invasion. Folks, this blows up into the entire region, and our president is so stupid he has us drugged into the middle of all of it.
Get a warrant to fucking leave! Get out of Vermont! Get out of our state, you bastard!
Fucking disgusting!
Get out of Vermont!
Ice out! Ice
Get out of Vermont! Get out of Vermont! You fucking bastard! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! You fucking Gestapo piece of shit! Fuck you! Get out of Vermont, you Gestapo bastard! Get out of Vermont! Get out of Vermont! We don't want you here! Get out of Vermont! Get out of Vermont! Get out of state! You Gestapo bastard! Fuck you! Fuck you! Shut the fuck up.
We are not a threat to you. You are a threat to us.
You need to get the fuck out of here.
You are a threat to us. We are not a threat. You are a threat to us.
You gotta get out, man. Get out of our state. 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 Get out of our state.
Back up.
I got water, man. Water.
As the Trump administration is waging illegitimate wars across the world, killing countless of people, it is also strangling the Cuban people, deliberately, methodically, and openly. The pedophile Trump himself bragged about it, saying, "There's an embargo, there is no oil, there's no money, there's no anything." He said it like it was something to be proud of, while millions of people have been plunged into darkness by rolling blackouts, while hospitals lose power, while ambulances run out of fuel, while shelves go empty. The United Nations has warned of imminent humanitarian crisis. Intensive care units and emergency rooms are compromised. Newborns, the elderly, the sick, all paying the price. This is not an accident or an unfortunate side effect of some policy disagreement. This is the intended outcome.
So, are you pro-vaccine or anti-vaccine?
I'm anti-vaccine.
We are here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for a MAGA conference called Healthy America 2026. Now, if you know anything about MAGA, it's RFK Jr.'s favorite movement. It's filled with anti-vaccine beliefs and alternative science.
There's no vaccine that is, safe and effective.
In 2026, measles infections will reach a 30-year high, and the United States is likely to lose its measles elimination status.
Measles cases have been skyrocketing since last year. A huge spike, 2,000.
MAGA is a mental disease. It really is. Because if I have to tell you, doing this show, I get contacted by maggots sometimes. And I think if any one of them ever had anything interesting to say, if they had anything that added to the conversation or would make me and us understand why, what is it about the baboon? What is it they get out of this? Maybe it would be an interesting conversation if they had anything to say, if they contributed to the conversation. But all they say is MAGA, or they'll say Trump is your president. That's what somebody just wrote on one of the feeds. Trump's your president. Deal with it. That's a common comment that I get. They're all repetitive, regurgitating of nothing. It's just empty calories of Trump's your president.
Two congressional sources tell MS Now the war in Iran is costing taxpayers an estimated $1 billion a day, and that could be a conservative estimate. So if President Trump comes to Congress asking for more money, which he is likely to do, how will Democrats respond? Joining us, House Minority Leader Congressman Hakeem Jeffries. Really good to have you, as always. Thank you for being with us. You had said over the weekend that you'll cross that bridge when it comes regarding extra money for this war. What are you still taking under consideration?
Well, we'll meet as a caucus and have a conversation if the president and the administration send up an appropriations bill. But here's the problem. Donald Trump has entered into this war of choice. They're spending billions of dollars in the Middle East, have zero interest, these extremists, in actually trying to lower the high cost of living for the people of this country. In terms of this war of choice, Donald Trump has no clear plan of action. There's no discernible objectives. They shift every day. And there's no exit strategy to get us out of a conflict when Donald Trump promised as a candidate not to get us into this type of potentially endless war in the Middle East.
So it sounds like you would vote no to give him more money to keep doing this if there's no clear objective and he doesn't know what he's doing.
Well, that certainly is the presumption, but I don't want to get out ahead of the caucus when we have that conversation. It's all theoretical right now. What is occurring is that there's this ongoing war. Billions of dollars are being spent. The president has chosen not to try to even make a case to the American people as to why we are involved in this conflict. And again, the objectives, the rationale shifts every day. One day it's regime change. The next day it's because we've got to stop Iran, who apparently the president was claiming was on the brink of nuclear weapon capability when just a few months ago he claimed that the nuclear program had been completely and totally obliterated. There's no evidence that the administration has presented to suggest that there was an imminent threat to either the American people at home or our interests in the Middle East. And so there's a lot that has been left to be desired as it relates to what's going on in terms of this war of choice that Donald Trump has plunged us into.
I'm an anti-war veteran, and I want to explain to you why, as a veteran who went to Iraq and who went to Afghanistan, why I am an anti-war veteran. There's a lot of anti-war veterans out there, and everybody has their own reason and a rationale. This is mine. And I'm telling you this, I'm opening up and telling you this because I am vehemently against what we are doing in Iran. It's not because I just don't like Trump. No, this entire thing is absolutely absurd. This was an unprovoked attack in which we attacked first. Israel convinced Trump they were going to strike Iran and that Iran would strike back on American bases because they would assume that America had something to do with it. And so America had to preemptively respond to an attack that they thought would probably maybe happen if Israel actually did what they said they were going to do. So that's what's got us here. The reason I'm anti-war is the hardest thing for me to come to the realization of. The eye-opening experience I had in both Iraq and Afghanistan was the humanity of everybody else. Yeah. Sitting in Iraq and talking to this Iraqi, hey, you don't like Americans, why? And they say, you bombed our country. You blew up my neighborhood and killed my family. Before all this, I was a taxi driver. And I'm like, wait a minute. This isn't just an insurgent. This isn't just some bad guy. It's a fucking taxi driver. And we blew up his fucking town and killed his family and invaded his fucking country. What the fuck would I do? What the fuck would you do if somebody blew up your fucking town, invaded your fucking country? Then I realized I'm the poor guy from my country who couldn't afford to say no, and he's the poor guy from his country who has no choice but fight for it now. And I realized, damn, rich people are just manipulating the entire fucking system to send poor people off to fight for capitalistic desires by offering us a socialistic system where we get healthcare, housing, basic income, and insurance, but you have to agree to die. And then if you don't die, if you make it back home, the VA system is a nightmare. When you apply for disability, they're going to give you the lowest rating they can, and you're going to have to fight for the next 8, 9, 10 years to hopefully get it to the highest rate that you actually deserve. And you find out that the VA's philosophy is it's cheaper to let a veteran die than to care for them. And then comes the full circle moment. I was dispensable then, and I'm dispensable now. They don't care about nothing but their money and their greed. And that is why they send us off to die. That is why they bomb other countries. I am an anti-war veteran.
Or the president could do some of this shit I'm doing. Or the president could do some of this shit I'm doing. Or the president could do some of this shit I'm doing. Or the...
It's time for the Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John Livestream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well, yeah, it's the Trucker John Livestream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John Livestream is the best thing you've ever seen.
Shit.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing. Am I all hooked up? Let's see here. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. 11:25 a.m. here in Pacific Time Zone. I don't have my watch on, so I don't know the exact temperature, but I can tell you, man, things are heating up here in Las Vegas. It was 87 degrees yesterday. I think we're going to be in the upper 80s. I think next week we're going to be hitting upper 90s. Upper 90s in March. That's crazy. I think we're going to be setting all kinds of records for heat records, and I don't like it. Yesterday we were 17 degrees above average temperature. We've been running at above average temperatures all year, and I don't like it. I don't like it. Anyway, thanks everyone for being here. I do appreciate you for being here and hanging out for a little bit as we talk about all the crazy shit that Trump is doing. All the crazy shit. People are losing their lives because of Trump, and of course that's par for the course. In his first term, Trump had millions of people on his their blood on his hands, and he's picking up right where he left off from his first term. Just doesn't give a shit how many people he kills, just as long as he can get the attention of the Epstein files off the front pages, which this has been pretty successful in doing that. And if he can help out Putin, and if he can help out Netanyahu, any other oligarchical dictator that he can help out, that's all he cares about. Right? Am I right? We've still got ICE doing its thing. That hasn't gone away. Just not quite as out in the front pages. We've got, what do we got? Sleeper cells, and we've got people doing stuff here, attacking temples and synagogues. Dogs and cats living together. Total mayhem. It is total mayhem what's going on. My God, can we make it to November? And I understand Hakeem Jeffries. I know he's a politician. But for the love of God, just fucking come out and just say, when asked if you're going to be in favor or not in favor of giving Trump more money, for the love of God, there's no hemming and hawing in that. It should just be a loud no. I am not going to vote to give Trump not one more dime to this fucking illegal act that he's doing. We were not under any imminent danger from Iran. It's all horse shit. If Trump tries to say anything otherwise, even his own generals, even his own, national security advisors, the people who are in the know, they come out and said there was no imminent danger being posed by Iran against us. So this is what people talk about when they're angry with Hakeem Jeffries. Just say no, bro. No. We're not going to give you any more money. Motherfucker is spending $2 billion a day for a bullshit war. Just so we don't talk about the Epstein files. That's all this is about. I mean, there's other things. Okay, Netanyahu, Texas Paul talked about how Netanyahu tricked Trump and all this kind of shit. And I suppose that all played into it. But the bottom line is, I think Trump saw this as an opportunity to get the Epstein files off of the front pages. And that's the number one thing, in my opinion. I was going to try to get some clips in the intro about the Epstein files. Now, I did have limited time because I got home really late last night working. I'm a taxi driver. When Jolly Ginger there was talking about the taxi driver that he spoke with, I guess, in Iraq, that hit home. I'm a taxi driver. But anyhow, but in the short time that I had to put this intro together, I didn't see one thing in my feeds, my social media feeds. That's where I get the intros from. Is from, I get it from Substack and Threads and Instagram and whatever, and nothing about Epstein. Nothing came up. Now, again, I wasn't on there real for too long because I didn't have much time, but still, nothing. No one's talking about Epstein files. So the ploy is working. The ploy is working. So let's not forget about the Epstein files. Let's not let Trump get away with this shit, man. He's always getting away with this shit. He can't get away with it any longer. I feel like, that dude on Breaking Bad, right? Anyhow, the chat is zipping along here. I'm not able to go back to the beginning. I saw Paul Burrows. I don't know if Sandy was first, Sandy, but hello, Sandy. I know you were, if not first, you were close to it. Roxanne is here. Damon Dog, the big dog. Paul Burrows, up in Idaho, where I think you said it's snowing or something. Nick Rich is here. Hey, Nick, good to see you. It's a little smoky in my apartment right now. As I was playing the intro, I was trying to cook something to eat real quick. And I think I burnt the stove, burnt the thing or something. Barney Balcom is here. Kiki Streets. Hey, Kiki Streets here, or at least was here. I don't know, but thanks for popping in. Haven't seen Kiki in a while. Karita 96823 is here. Pittsburgh without Noah Wiley. Luck Dragon is here. Hey, Luck Dragon, good to see you. Luck Dragon says, Trucker, everybody isn't Phil Ittner just the best person? Our best human? Yeah, Phil Ittner is awesome. Awesome dude. Awesome dude. I see you guys talking about Tara. So this is where when the intro was playing, yeah, I stuck Tara in there. Thought, why not? She deserves a little Trucker John intro action. DC 2257 is here. Hello, DC. DPD is here. Petrazi 1920 is here. Tiki Street says Major ICE Data Center in Wilson, Vermont hired over 100 last fall. 2025, look it up. I am like almost completely out of food. I haven't done any shopping. I need to do some shopping. Oh man. And I didn't have, but all I had in the fridge was these pork loins. So I just threw them in a pan, just plain, no nothing, just threw them right in there. I had one, I ate one. I got another one right here. I hope it's cooked up enough. The other one, it wasn't so thick as this one, so that one was nice and cooked up. I hope this one's cooked up. Let me take a bite. I think that's good enough. You guys think it's okay? I'm not going to get like, what is it when you eat undercooked pork? Anyhow, I just had to throw something on the pan there to eat because I was really hungry. A lot of fat and nothing. But I just had I got coffee and pork loins for breakfast. Yeah, I'm all out of my little breakfast sandwiches. I'm out of everything. I'm out of eggs. I'm out of sausage. I'm out of hash browns. I got to do some shopping today. Let's see. Bonnie Balcom is here. Hey, Bonnie, good to see you. Vincent Owens today is here. Hey, Vince, good to see you. Thanks for popping on in. Damon Dog says, Kinky Streets, I saw where Nostradamus predicted a 7-month war this year. Elections in 7 months makes sense. We'll see. 777. Those are lucky numbers, I guess, or meaningful numbers. I don't know. Petrology says, no more war money for Dinky. Shut it down. And even if we don't have the numbers, just say no anyhow. Just say no, bro. You know, just say no. Aaron West is here. Is Jolie here? Are we at full? Oh, there's Jolie. Yeah. So Jolie and Aaron are both here in the chat. So that means we're at full mod capacity. Here, let me swallow this chunk of meat. Full mod capacity. We're at full mod capacity. Thank you very much. Thank you. Make sure you tip your waiters. CPA Mac J Day says $11 billion a week. But folks, we can't afford health care. There's no way we could afford Medicare for all. There's no way we could afford continuing to subsidize, the ACA subsidies, that we could afford to fund that. No way. There's no way, man. There's no way we can continue with SNAP. We got to cut SNAP because they're already getting like $50 a month for food benefits. That's way too much. No wonder they're all so fat, right? We can't afford that shit, but we can sure as fuck afford spending $2 billion every fucking day for a completely senseless war. Fuck all you fuckers who think that. All you motherfuckers, all you Republicans, all you maggots, and anyone else who thinks that, fuck you. And you know what? Gas prices go up and up and up and up and up and up. And we just need to hammer it home to all our fucking maggots that we bump shoulders with, that's all Trump's doing. It's all Trump's doing. All the shit, all the inflation. This is all self-inflicted from Trump. Because Trump is the stupidest motherfucker we've ever had. I've ever seen. He's so fucking stupid. But then again, I think, is it stupidity or is it just he doesn't give a shit? It's all about him because he's managed to make money off of all this shit. I think he's doubled his wealth since he became president again. It's all a grift, man. The grift continues. The grifting of Donald Trump continues. And, man, I just hope we make it to November. God, isn't that amazing? I think we're all sitting here on pins and needles, just hoping we're going to make it to November. And even then, there's no, even if we win the House, and even if we manage to somehow get the Senate back, and sure, we can, legislatively and in Congress, we can just stop him. But we've seen that Donald Trump is pretty much lawless. He doesn't give a fuck he just does it anyway. He tore down the fucking East Wing. And then people were like, hey, you can't do that. He's like, oh, oops. He just starts blowing up fishing boats off the coast of Venezuela. And even if people say, hey, you can't do that. There's a thing called due process. You can't just do that. He's like, fuck you. No one is stopping him. That's why at the very end of the intro, I've kept that little snippet in there for you for the last few times about him saying, no one the president could get away with this shit. He just keeps getting away with this shit. He just does whatever the fuck he wants. And even if we win back the Congress, are we going to be able to stop him at this point? It's like, what's it going to take to actually stop this motherfucker? Even if we win the House, which I'm fairly confident we're going to win the House back. And even if we get the Senate, does it matter at this point? Have we reached the point that we are totally, talk about constitutional crisis. This is more than a constitutional crisis. This is just existentialism. This is, will the United States continue to exist? Are we going to make it even to our 250th birthday on July 4th? Now, I think we'll make it to July, but even if we win these fucking elections, I'm not sure if it's going to make a goddamn bit of difference. I don't think he will be stopped from doing the things he's doing until he's in the ground. I was going to say in the prison. He's never going to go to prison. No matter what, he's never going to go to fucking prison. So just fucking get that out of your head right now. No matter what comes out, he will never go to fucking prison. I am convinced of that. This motherfucker will never see the inside of a jail cell. But he deserves it. He deserves it. So he won't be stopped until he is in the ground. And that can't happen. That can't come soon enough, actually. Because who knows what 2028 is going to look like? The way he just runs roughshod over the Constitution, he runs roughshod over everything. He has he has the SCOTUS. He still has them. Who says he's going to leave? Who says he's not going to just make himself president forever? Who's going to kick him out? Hakeem Jeffries? Chuck Schumer? The two fucking cucks? Are those two fucking ballless bastards going to do anything? I mean, the first time he left, he took a fucking U-Haul truck full of fucking classified documents. How did that fucking happen? And nothing, and nothing has happened for that. What happened with that? There's been no punishment for that. He was rewarded by getting a second term. So if he's still alive and kicking in 2028, and then 2029 rolls around, if he doesn't want to leave, he ain't gonna leave. Who's gonna kick him out? JD Vance? Until someone shows me that they've got the fucking balls to stand up to this motherfucker, then I'm going to believe that he will never leave. And he will do whatever the fuck he wants, because so far he's done whatever the fuck he wants. Now we the people, yeah, we go to No Kings, we protest, we get 10 million people to show up. So, and then maybe it was 7 million, I don't know, 8 million people show up. It's going to take a hell of a lot more people than that to get him out. Let's get some people in Congress with some fucking balls. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Kinky Street says I do good editing. Thank you, Kinky. Appreciate that. Who says I don't have formal training? Actually, I don't know if I do have formal training, but I did make a short college film in my late 30s because I want to. When I say I was a college student, I made a college film. You automatically think of like a young 20-year-old or something. I went back to took some courses in my late 30s or something, and I made a movie called The Teacher, and I edited that all by myself. I wrote, directed, starred in it. A little short film. It was only a 5-minute film, but I edited that motherfucker, and it was painstaking because I was using basically like the software, the editing software was is basically just like, like for normal people. It wasn't like it wasn't anything like in movie industry grade. It was just like consumer grade, But I think it came out pretty good. If you want to see the teacher, I don't know if I have the teacher in one of my. Do I have it on here? I'm sure Jolie could find it. If you want to link to the teacher, student film I made was it, I don't know, 1998, I think, something like that. Susie Ann Jones is here. Good to see you, Susie. Wes Webb's here. Hello, Wes Webb. Hey, Wes, are we going to go on a road trip, man? Are we going to go road tripping? Chicago to Santa Monica. I'm going to do it next year, with or without you. With or without you. With or without you. King Street's going to go skiing. Hey, Big Hook, the Big Canuck is here. Hey, Big Hook, good to see you. Big Hook says, take off to the Great White North, where the moose and the caribou play, and seldom is heard an American word. And we sit and drink beer all day. Don't eat the yellow snow. Bob and Doug peed there. Hey, you hoser. Hey, you hoser. Hey. Wes Webb must be listening to PBS or NPR. Most media is trying to play down the hottest year ever on Earth. Yeah, and when Trump says that, what does he say? He says we're hot. We're the hottest planet, or we're the hottest whatever. We're the hottest. Did you see we're the hottest country? Whatever like that. He's not really lying. That's the one thing he says. It might be truthful when he talks about, yeah, we're the hottest right now. We're the hottest. David Dog, Trump is a Russian sleeper cell. Anna Moore's here. Hey, Anna, good to see you. Anna says, hello, TJ and fellow loungers. I'm watching this intro, and it's scary. This administration is systematically destroying our country with the help of the GOP. Impeach 47. Impeach him and lock him up, man. But like I said, I don't think he'll ever see the inside of a jail cell. No matter what comes out, I'm such a pessimist on that. Squirrel Girl's sending out some 10 gift memberships. Yippee, Squirrel Girl! Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That might help us get to 5,000 subscribers. And you guys know what happens when that happens. I'm gonna drink some booze. Now, Robert, our friend Robert from down San Diego way, he said, hey, I thought you were going to do edibles when you hit 5,000. So I don't remember if I had said that or not. Maybe I'll have to drink the booze and then maybe take an edible. Is it okay to mix edibles with booze? I don't know. But anyhow, it's good to see. I like to read who got the memberships. Thank you, Squirrel Girl, so much. We got Gator Tots. Paul Burrows got one. Oh, nice. Hoggy. Hey, Hoggy. NMKC Oriema got one. The La Nina. 129. Spicy Dragon got one. Hey, Spicy. Shea Costello. 888. Probably related to Elvis Costello. I would say probably. Peggy Peg got one. Is Peggy Peg P-Dubs? Because I see the icon looks like P-Dub. And Rahavika 1 got one. And Kimberly Like 51 got one. That's not kimchi, is it? I don't know. But yeah, thank you, Squirrel Girl. I appreciate you doing that. That's pretty awesome. Brooklyn. Hey, Brooklyn SJU is here. Hey, Brooklyn. Good to see you, Brooklyn. Brooklyn in the house. I don't know why I looked over there. It's still a little smoky in here. I had the window open and stuff, but I closed it for the show because I don't need the neighbors hearing me talk, and they'll be like, "What is he doing in there?" Brooklyn says they should let Jasmine Crockett and AOC take over. Well, that's not how it works. They don't just let people take over. I mean, they vote. They have to be voted in by the body. And right now we're just minority. But there, you could be the minority leader, but and Jasmine Crockett, she'll be out of Congress at the end of this year, I guess, because her district got eliminated, and she lost her run for the Senate. She lost that, so she's out. Now she might rerun in some other district or some other thing somewhere down the road, but until then, I guess next January, I guess that's when the new Congress would take over. She's out. And AOC, as much as I love AOC, and if she were to run for president, I would vote for her in a heartbeat. AOC now we're talking about. Maybe she doesn't want to be Speaker of the House. You got to want it to win it, and we want it more. I mean, maybe not everyone wants to be the Speaker of the House. Now, she would probably be a great speaker, no doubt. I think she could be a ball buster. I think she could get votes. I think she could, herd cats. But maybe she doesn't want it. Maybe because for whatever reason, people have their reasons. But right now, let's just concentrate on winning the goddamn House back and winning the Senate. I think we're going to win the Senate because we've seen all these huge sort of flips, in these special elections. Those weren't Senate seats, but you know what I mean. I think Democrats and independents that lean Democrat or whatever, I think are kind of fired up. And ready to go, IB YouTubing's here. Hey, good to see IB YouTubing. IB YouTubing. That's a pretty good name. DC says, I hope that's not a spit cup. You talking about my coffee cup? No, that's just coffee. Should I take another bite of this pork loin? This is how real men fucking eat, man. Arrgh. William, taxi driver, you talking to me? You talking to me? Nick Rich says, release the files. Conduct trials and lock up all the pedophiles. I don't know if we're ever going to see justice in that. They might find... They're going to find a scapegoat. They're going to pin it all on some scapegoat who probably deserves it. I mean, they'll find whoever it is will deserve punishment, but I don't know. I'm just so kind of jaded on the whole thing, I mean, there's only so many times I can hold the football. Or no, there's only so many times where I can try to kick the football and it gets pulled away at the last second. There's only so many times I can go through that shit. Damon Dog says, yeah, Google searches for the PD files is way down. As a dog, I'd like to say I'm tired of being wagged. Yeah. I guess Squirrel Girl's not feeling well. Hope you feel better soon. Why am I sneezing now all of a sudden? Maybe I'm allergic to pork. Susie Jones says, I've been in tears today. This is a nowhere war and innocent children are dying. It's so fucking horrible. And what does Donald Trump do? He goes golfing. He's a fucking sociopath. This fucking sociopath we have in the White House. Jolie says, bless you. That was from the earlier sneeze. Probably have another bless you down further. Yeah, over 100 elementary age schoolgirls were blown up. Motherfucker goes golfing. Doesn't give a fuck. Gigi Street says some good news. Tesla stock closed at a new 2026 low yesterday. Down $61 for 2026. I really wish that I don't know, King Street, you know about these kind of shit. This kind of is there some way that Tesla could fucking kick him out, man? Would that be a hostile takeover? Because believe it or not, I still like Teslas. Whenever I see one driving down the street, you know, I like the Model Y, I like the Model 3. I don't like the Cybertruck, but I like, you know, I go, man, and they've got some new ones that have come out, kind of refreshed look. I'm like, man, that looks pretty sharp. I really like that, and I miss not being able to drive one. But you know, I'll never buy one as long as Musk is the CEO of Tesla. You know, coffee and loins just don't run out of potable water. Oh, well, I got water here too. I got my smart water. Big Hook says undercooked pork can give you trichinosis. I think this is cooked good enough. I had it on the pan for like, I don't know, half an hour. I kept turning it over. David Dog says you can get worms, John. If you feel the urge to scoot across the carpet, you may want to check. Yeah, okay. I'll keep that in mind. Bonnie Balcom says, I eat weird stuff for breakfast. Sometimes it's eggs. Other times it's salad with a bit of rotisserie chicken. Jolie, full mod capacity. Yes, we are at full mod capacity. Anna Moore says, what is the GOP waiting to impeach this president? Peace. I guess they're just going to go down with the ship. I don't get it. They're still clinging on to this motherfucker. And and I mean, for us, it's good. He's going to drag them down. Let them destroy each other. But I mean, think about, you know, Nixon. Think about Watergate. So back in the early 70s, you know, Republicans, they still had a spine, apparently. I mean, they forced Nixon to resign because they said, look, we got the votes. We're going to impeach you. And we're going to remove you. And that's why Nixon resigned, because rather than going through the impeachment. If they did that then, why can't they do that now? Why can't these fucknuts do that now? What has changed since 1972 or whatever year, 73, 74, whatever it was? What has changed? Citizens United, perhaps? Corporations are people, perhaps? Dark money, perhaps? You know, sometimes when you get in bed with someone, and even if you try to get up out of bed and leave, it might be too late. Some of these fuckers may have gotten in bed with some pretty dangerous people, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't know. I mean, what else? There's got to be some threat. Something that they're afraid of. Besides just not winning re-election. There's more to it than that. You know? There's got to be more to it than that. But we do see that it does seem like about the only Congress people who, on the Republican side, that have a spine are the ones that are retiring or not rerunning or whatever. Even Thomas Massey, I think he's not running again. And he's gotten pretty vocal in joining Ro Khanna about releasing the Epstein files, and he's been also pretty vocal about this war. But he's out. Why can't any of the ones that are still going to be in, why can't they do anything? They're afraid all their funding will dry up, I guess. Oh, it's Pi Day. That's right, 3/14. So I need to go buy a pie. IB YouTubing says that the stuff that has already come out implicates Trump, so there must be something else that they don't want revealed. And what's this with this Pam Bondi? What kind of an evil fucking bitch is she? Because you know she's seen everything. She's seen the worst of the worst. She knows everything, and that she continues to keep, you know, stonewalling and hiding as much as she can. And what kind of a bitch is she, man? I mean, come on, you know? Bullshit Artist says FCC Chair Brendan Carr just issued a demand to media outlets to report more positively on the war, whatever that means. And my God, if that isn't just an out and out, I mean, they're not even hiding. They're not even hiding their this government overreach. I'm eating like a man. God damn it. That's how men eat. Kikuchi says FCC doesn't control streaming, only over the airways. Yeah, so Brendan Carr is talking to ABC and CBS and NBC, Fox News that does their over-the-air stations. Yeah. Of course, they're already on board, but yeah, Petrozzi says that this country has the money to help every veteran, disabled, and poor person in this country. I'm tired of the rich getting richer while we get poorer. It's gonna we got people. We got to reach this. There's got to be a. When are we gonna break? When are we gonna reach the breaking point? What's it gonna take? To stand up to the rich. You know? When are we going to stand up to these rich motherfuckers? I kind of lost my place in the chat here. So I'm trying to scroll back to where I left off. Man, how far was I? How far did I go there? I don't know. Anyhow. Kikuchi says fascists only understand physical force. Bernie Sanders keeps ignoring me when I tell him that to his face. Well, Bernie's on his last legs. Is he going to run again, or is he going to retire? Because I mean, I love Bernie Sanders, but come on, I think it's time for him to retire too. Bradley Balcom, the current Congress has given away its power. And you got Mike Johnson, total little fucking cuck. Bradley Balcom, stop with the doomerism. Well, it's not looking good, man. I mean, I try to be as positive as I can, like when we see these special elections and Democrats winning, really flipping those seats around. Those give me hope. West Webb, doom scrolling is what Democrats are best at, always looking for something wrong and somebody else to blame. I don't know. I think I'm blaming ourselves. I'm blaming our Democrats for being too milquetoasty. I'm blaming our Democrats that didn't show up to vote in 2024. Josh says he's campaigning already. And that's the thing, too. Like, why the fuck does he get to campaign on our dime? Because when he does that, like the other day he was at, where was he at? Was it Kentucky or whatever, where the lady fainted and shit like that? That was basically a campaign speech. And so he flies there, he brings security there, he doesn't. That's all on our fucking dime. That should not be allowed. You don't get to fucking campaign on our fucking dime, you know. Manly, manly, manly. All right, I'm done with that. Trichinosis, here I come. Trichinosis, here I come. Kika Tree says MAGA fascists only care about money, so yes, a recession is what we need, a bad one. But they'll just blame Biden. Doesn't matter how long ago Biden was president. No, you know. But I would like to think that most of us would not fall for that. Even I think even people on the right are you know, they might go along with it, but deep down, I think they know the truth. Love Dragon says, off topic, but Trucker, did you happen to see the celebration of life for Adam? I did. I watched that. It was fire, like you said. It was very, very good. I watched the whole thing. It was like 2 hours. Yeah. Bunny Malcolm, this is why I've stopped watching most live streams. My anxiety was so bad in January last year. I was having cluster panic attacks for a few weeks. Got to stay positive. All right, Bonnie. Let's stay positive. We're going to win in November, and we're going to shut the whole shit show down. And we're going to do it for the next 2 years until we can get back the White House, keep the House and the Senate. We're going to get SCOTUS back. And we're going to have 50 years of Democratic rule. There you go. Kiki Street says, Las Vegas dead. The casino stocks sure say it is. It's down. It's definitely down. It's definitely down. I wouldn't say it's dead. Last night I was out driving my ass off. Last night, for the weekend, we've got NASCAR here. Woohoo, NASCAR! That brings in a lot of people. Plus, it's warm and spring-like conditions. Everyone's coming out here. So it was pretty busy last night. But even though it was pretty busy, you could still see that it looks like there's less people than. Okay, I did ride share in, was it 2023 and 2024? And then I've done cab driving all of 2025 and now up to now. So I can base it on the difference between 2023 and 2024, which was crazy busy, then 2025 was definitely down from those 2 previous years, and we're still down. It's definitely down. I wouldn't say it's dead. I think dead, to me, dead means dead. I would definitely not say that it's dead, but it is definitely down. Definitely down, but still busy enough to keep me busy last night. Big Hook says, did TJ clear out the storage locker? I did not. I went ahead and paid my arrears. I was in arrears. $786 because I just couldn't get down there. So my only choice was either not pay it and lose all my shit, or pay it and then try to get down there. You know, hopefully soon I can just get down there and clear it out and be rid of it, because it's costing me over $200 a month for that goddamn storage. It's the smallest one they have, too. You know. Demon Dog, I want the Planet of the Apes costume John wore for the next protest. That costume was custom fit, designed by, oh God, can't remember her name. I know she's won at least 2 Oscars for best costume design. She actually touched me because all the gorillas, all the apes, everybody, we all had. This is back. We're talking about Planet of the Apes from 2001, Tim Burton movie. Okay, I was a gorilla. Colleen Atwood, I believe it's Colleen Atwood. She was the costume designer. Her team measured us one at a time. We went in to their little costume room that they had set up. They take all your measurements, your neck, of course, your height, your waist, your inseam, your arm length or whatever, and they measured me. And Colleen was there, and Colleen touched me. Colleen, is it Atwood? I might be saying the wrong name. And that costume wasn't just like it was in pieces. It was a whole thing. Getting dressed, it was piece by piece by piece. It wasn't just like the mask was kind of a throwover thing. Yeah, that was a one piece for us. The featured extras, they had to go in and get like prosthetics put on every day. But for us, a little bit more further in the background, we did have just a one piece mask that was really, it was a very nice mask, but one of the best masks you're ever going to see that was made like that. But the actual costume, it was like layer by layer, piece by piece. It wasn't just something you threw over. It was very. So my point is, it was very. What was my point? I don't know. It was a very well made, custom fit, and it was in several pieces. That costume. DPD, I love road trips, especially when I don't have to drive. Buddy Balcom, wear a frog mask on the road trip. Look, Dragon, did someone say road trip? The Soulcraft is here. Hey, Soulcraft. It's the Soulcraft. Guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. We have been operating as really kind of skeezy Republicans this whole show with a big deficit on our thumbs ups. So let's hit that thumbs up and get us to at least a balanced budget like the good Democrats. I think most of us are. West Webb says it's smart to hang on to my flex fuel for now. If it breaks, there are plenty of options out there. As long as Trump and the Republicans are in control, yeah, you might as well keep all your gas-powered shit. They don't want us to be off of fossil fuels because that's who their buddies are. That's who funds their campaigns, is the fucking fossil fuel industry. DPD says wine, yes, TJ, but not Hennessy. Oh, as far as mixing edibles and shit. So I can't take any edibles on that day. Big Hook 11:52. Wow, I'm 30 minutes behind. I didn't realize I was so far behind. I'm 30 minutes behind. I'm 30 minutes behind in the chat. 30 little tiny little baby little tiny little baby minutes behind. Buddy Malcolm says end up maybe neatly in the middle. I don't know. Of the Vegas Strip painted blue after drinking and taking an edible. And end up naked, maybe. Naked. That must be it. End up naked in the middle of Vegas strip, painted blue after drinking and taking an edible. Was that from The Hangover or something? David Dog says smoking in there too. Yeah, for a whole different reason. Mine was because of those pork loins. Pork loin got a little smoky. Nick Rich says 253 in my neighborhood. There's 253 in his little tiny neighborhood. A little tiny neighborhood. Sharky, hey, Sharky from across the pond. Good to see Paul Sharky Mannion. Says, howdy, TJ and truckers. Trump and the IDF have created a quagmire of misery. Nettie has played Trump like a kipper. Kipper. I think Trump, and I know Tex. I'm kind of going against what Texas Paul said in the intro. I think Trump did it mainly to get Epstein off the front pages. I think that was the number one thing. And then he just uses Netanyahu as an excuse. Netanyahu told me, So I still think it's mainly about taking our eyes off of Epstein files. Bonnie Malcolm, y'all must live in square, uptight hoods. I live out on the outer rim of Las Vegas, out here on Boulder Highway, as I like to call it, the outer rim. Stephanie B is here. Hey, Stephanie, good to see you. Good to see Stephanie B. Jolie says, don't start TJ on the smell of weed. Now, there are sometimes, not all weed is the same. I've smelled some weed and go, it didn't really bother me. But then some of it is really bad. And I think it depends on where you're at. If you're, at a concert, I'd probably expect it. Or if I'm walking around in certain areas, open areas, yeah. But if I'm in my apartment complex, see what you did. See what you did. You got me started. You got me started on it. Betrazi, Teacher. It was called The Teacher. I forget if I have a playlist on this channel. I know I have my other channel, my Feet on the Dashboard channel, and I think I have a playlist there that has some of my movies that I made, my little shorts. Wes Webb, when will Trump declare the war to be over? How close to the elections? Well, if that's his a ploy, I don't think it's going to work. At least not for, I don't think it's not enough to make a difference. I think people, even MAGA, more and more are seeing through him. You can only do this shit for so long, and it might take 10 years, like it has for a lot of these people, but eventually they're going to see. Eventually the con man gets exposed if he stays in one area for too long. That's why in real life, like con men, they kind of don't stay in one area too long. They do a con and then they move, and they do a con somewhere else and then they move to another city. And the trouble with the president being a con man is, you're in Washington D.C. and you're out there, and I think more and more people, even on the right and even within MAGA, are finally seeing just what a dirty, greasy con man, lying piece of shit that he is. Wes gave up on me. All right. I gave up on you too, man. I gave up on you too. Wes. Kiki Street says U.S. DOD knew Strait of Hormuz was controlled by Iran. Raising Cain is a failure. Don't tell that to Trump because he thinks Raising Cain is great. DPD says that perhaps we should change shit up. The old way isn't working and hasn't for a long time. That's the problem with us Democrats. We play it safe. We no longer have that option. What do you mean by what have we done? What do we do that plays it safe? I guess, I mean, I know earlier I was talking about Hakeem and Chuck and how they, especially Hakeem, how he won't just come out and say, no, bro. Not going to give you no money, bro. But, you know, instead of kind of tiptoeing around these issues and stuff, but what can they do? I mean, I do think that they should be trying to rally the troops, get everybody on board to oppose this president. Maybe they are. I don't know. Freeman 28, is that a pork chop? Yeah, basically. The package said pork loin. So I think they're a little bit thicker than your average pork chop. You know, they were pretty thick. Bonnie says pork is nasty. No, it's not. It's not nasty. What are you, a freaking Muslim? There, I just offended anyone who's a Muslim will leave. My Muslim faction will leave now. West Webb can't shake my addiction to bacon. Kiki Shree says the new Running Man movie was okay. I enjoyed it. Was that the one with Colin? What's his face? The Irish guy? I never saw that. Oh no, that wasn't. Oh, that he did the remake of the other Schwarzenegger movie. Yeah, the new Running Man was with some dude. It had a cast. I mean, I think there was a bunch of cameos in it that they probably had to bring in because I think the main guy was some dude I've never fucking even heard of. Wes Webb says bacon wrap, tenderloin chop is the best of all pork. It's the other white meat. Don't you know, Bonnie? It's the other white meat. DPD says the only thing that fuels me is my rage. Bless you, TJ. I guess I must have just sneezed. Wes Webb says DPD save it until November. Why? Why you got to save it? Don't save it. We need to. I think March 28th. Let's all come out. Let's all come out for that. Let's do that. Let's get a big crowds for March 28th. Do I need to do this again? Do I need to do this? Hey, wait. Before that, I did copy one thing here. Here's Bernie. There's Bernie. Uh-oh. What? Oh, heck. Damn it. Make sure I'm not zoomed in. But I probably did. I thought this was interesting. Dear Democratic senators, if we have to do the filibuster over the SAVE Act, let's read the Epstein files out loud for the record. If that's even possible. There's really with the next bless you. And then okay, so there's that. I'll leave that up for a little bit, and then I'll put up the No Kings March later. Roxanne79 is here. Hey, Roxanne, good to see you. Roxanne says, TJ, I watched your episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You got the most screen time for an extra in that scene where Dee plays Cole trying out for the Eagles. Great episode. Yeah. Dee shook my hand and said, hey, glad to meet you. Actually, I forget her name in real life, but yeah, we were doing these scenes, and actually, you can't even hardly see me, but maybe they cut it out. But there was a bunch of these scenes where we were doing these like 40-yard sprints, and it was me, it was Dee, and it was not Charlie, but the other guy, and not the other guy. What are their names? Anyhow, it was the other guy. It was one, I think, and then a couple other extras, and we were doing wind sprints. And when we started to shoot that scene, because it was, instead of it being a whole big group, it was just us, like 3 or 4 people, and we were all, all together to shoot that scene. And they like introduced themselves to me and to I think there was one other extra. They're like, "Hey, good to meet you. Good to work with you," or whatever. And I was like, "Oh yeah, glad to meet you too," or whatever, And so that was kind of cool. They were so nice. Like that, I had never been. I'd done quite a few movies and TV shows. I can't remember like the stars of the show coming up to me and putting a hand out to to shake hands and to say hi, and to take that 5 seconds or 10 seconds or whatever to say hi and that it's great to work with you or whatever. I mean, and it wasn't like it wasn't a joke. It was sincere. It was like, because I'm saying that because the show is they're very snarky, they're very sarcastic, the characters, but this was a sincere moment, off camera, or the camera wasn't running or whatever, and but it was cool. It was cool to meet them, and it was cool doing that. Nick Rich says 12 noon. I'm 35 minutes behind now. I'm getting further and further behind. I'm gonna have to skip down, I think. Kiki Tree says Mercedes-Benz CLA EV coming, cheapest EV with over 400-mile range. Nice. That's nice. So cheapest EV. So it's cheaper than a Chevy Bolt. What would be about the cheapest one now? Maybe Chevy Bolt, maybe, or maybe some of those Kia or Hyundai ones might be pretty cheap. Maybe, I don't know. Well, those are kind of expensive, I think, still, but. That sounds pretty good, though. 400-mile range. Jeff Curry gave finger to a Cybertruck about an hour ago. Kinky says a BMW iX3 EV is coming this year, over 400 miles of range. Stephanie B says, TJ, are you eating utensils? Are your eating utensils in storage yet still? Well, yeah, but I do have. There was a very nice lady that gave me a whole couple boxfuls of plates and dishes and bowls and cups and some silverware. But for the pork chops, it was just more convenient for me to go caveman on them this morning. David Windler from Denver, I believe, right? Is it David from Denver? Says the Cybertruck is a joke, but yes, they can vote out Musk. Well, I wish they would. And maybe at some point, maybe the stock needs to drop so drastically, and the shareholders and the executive board members or whatever, they need to connect the dots and go, okay, we're dropping because people hate Musk. And maybe once they finally get that light bulb to go off in their head, maybe they'll vote the motherfucker out. West Web Robots, Tesla is going big into robots, giving up fancy EVs. And that, yeah, I read that too, where I guess they're discontinuing the Model S, which I think is a mistake because I think the Model S is a beautiful car. And they're discontinuing the Model X, which I think was way too expensive, but it was nice. Very big. I sat in one. I never drove one, but I sat in one at the showroom. Very beautiful, very big and roomy, but way too expensive. But I heard Musk said the reason that they're dropping those is so they can go into developing robots, put their time into I don't give a fuck about robots, if you want to know the truth. I don't care about autonomous driving, and I don't care about robots. Fuck that shit. I think Musk is a moron. Elon Musk, you're a fucking moron. And he used to think he was so cool. You're not cool. You're gross. Elon Musk, you're fucking gross. Kiki Street says Optimus will be Floptimus. Yeah, I hope it flops, and I hope the fucking Tesla board members vote his ass out. They go, look, he's dragging us down. He's an anchor that's weighing us down and drowning us. We need to get rid of this motherfucker, and we need to just concentrate on making fucking kick-ass electric vehicles. Just stick to that. We don't need this fucking robot goddamn bullshit. Who fucking cares about robots? Unless a robot can give me a good blowjob, then I don't give a fuck about it. I can't believe I just said that. But I certainly don't give a fuck about it driving my car or doing my dishes or whatever. Well, doing dishes would be nice too. But anyhow, make cars. Make good fucking cars. I like good cars. I don't like autonomous driving, and I certainly don't like fucking public transportation. It's fucking sucks. I like having my own fucking car that I can get into anytime I want and drive anywhere I want in a moment's fucking on a whim. I can be whimsical. I don't want people saying we need more public transportation. Well, maybe we do, and we do need to improve it, but not at the expense of fucking personal vehicles. Kiki Streaks, Musk is an idiot. He is an idiot, and he's gross, and he's disgusting. And he's a pedophile, probably, or you know, he's involved in Epstein too, and he should go down too for that. Kiki Street says the best people are leaving Tesla, and no one is replacing them. And they're starting their own companies, like what was that little truck company? It's not called Tesla, but it starts with a T, right? It's like, you guys know. And those look kind of cool. And is there another? There might be another company that someone started. So fuck Elon Musk. He's an asshole. Annie Bo says that Pam Bondi is a sociopath. So yeah, she fits right in because I think all of them are. I think Trump is. I think Stephen Miller is. I think Pam Bondi is. I don't know if Hexeth is, but he's just a fucking. We know he's a drunk, an abusive, wife-beating drunk, but he's also a fucking weirdo white nationalist, right-wing Christian white nationalist weirdo. And so many of them in that administration are some variant of that. And that's who we got. That's who our non-voting people allowed in for a second time. MJ Daniel from Washington State there says some Republicans running for office are figuring out that once the, I guess, orange shit taco is, or range shit, orange shit taco is long gone, they will be left to take all the blame, and rightly so. This GOP is the problem. I hope that it leads to 50 years of Democratic rule. DPD says Thomas Massey is indeed running for election in Kentucky, which is why the orange twat recently visited Ohio. Oh, I thought Thomas Massey was stepping down. I need verification on that. I'm going to need some verification on that. Sandy Foltz is saying hi to MJ. David Dog says, that's nothing. Wait till you see someone eat a pickled pig's foot. Those things are a lot of work. Big Hook 1210. I'm 33 minutes behind you. Chat people, chat people, chat people. Chat, chat, chat people. Tiki Streets, Ukraine is helping allies of Putin. I hope it doesn't bite back. Are you talking about the USA? They're helping the USA, and we're allies of Putin. Is that what I have to glean out of that there? Out of that there, right there? Is that what it is? Tiki Street says Bernie is senator till 2028, senator. But then is he going to step down after that? I know he wasn't going to quit like today. But I was just wondering if this is his last hurrah. I don't think he should rerun. You can see he's slipping. He's getting older. He's 89, 88. I don't know what the fuck he is. 86, 85, whatever. Bernie, you've done great work, a great job. You've been a great servant of the people for many, many decades now. And I think it's time for Bernie to step down, just like I think Chuck Schumer should step down. And by step down, I just mean not rerun. I don't mean they should quit today, like this instant. But I think it's time for some people to retire. Let some fresh blood in there. Roxanne says Papa Bernie is not running again. Good. And he should start promoting whoever is going to, as soon as possible. Maybe he doesn't know yet, but whatever Dems are going to be running for his seat, Dems or independents, because he's an independent. Apparently in fucking Vermont, you have to be an independent because they got two of them. But whoever the Democratic caucusing nominee or candidate is going to be, Bernie needs to start helping that person as soon as possible. Promoting him and everything. Big Fetterman is dying right before our eyes. Yeah, hopefully we don't lose that seat. Hopefully we can replace him with a better Democrat. Come on, Pennsylvania, what's up? What's up, Pennsylvania? What are you going to do? Are you going to replace Fetterman with a Dr. Oz type Trump sycophant? Or are you going to get a good solid Democrat in there? Come on, Pennsylvania, we're counting on you. We're counting on you, man. MJ Daniel says, I am positive that if the Democrats don't get the majority, we are fucked. Yeah, I agree with that. I think we will get the House back for sure. And I think we've got a good shot at getting the Senate. I really do. Now I haven't looked at any projections or polling with Senate seats, and I haven't done the math or whatever. I'm just basically pulling that out of my ass, like most things that I do. But I think that we're gonna. I think we've got a shot at the Senate. Let me shrink Bernie down a little bit there. Anyhow, I just felt like he was just invading my space a little too much. You know what I mean? MJ Daniel is quoting someone, because these are quotation marks. Biden administration is not tough enough about Gaza and Palestine. Why? I don't know. I am not voting That's end quote. How is that working for those people? I guess that was the people that said that during the campaign. We tried to warn everybody. Look, Dragon says, yes, I have a daughter and a granddaughter. They live in New Mexico, and I really want to give them hugs. If you can't be there, in person, then at least maybe FaceTime, or something. I don't know. King of Streets, Bernie endorsed Hillary in 2016. Yes, he did. Finally. I think he was a little slow to do it, though. I think that's the criticism. One of the criticisms, but that Bernie kind of dragged his feet a little bit on that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm misremembering. I'm sure Kinky Streets will let me know if I'm wrong about that, and that's fine. But I voted for Bernie in that primary, so don't hate me too much. But I was only too happy and eager to vote for Hillary once she got the nomination. And I think she would have been a great president. I really do. Of course, the Republicans would have done everything in their power to obstruct, just like they did to Obama. Maybe even more so, because I think they hate women more than they hate black people, to tell the truth. By they, I mean Republicans. And by Republicans, I'm talking about the one, probably all Republicans, but especially the ones that are in office. So I'm skipping down. I'm kind of needle dropping here in the chat because I know I'm 30 minutes behind, and it probably gets frustrating that I'm talking to something that you guys posted over a half an hour ago, and you're like, "What the fuck?" You know what I mean? Oh, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Tikashi says West Webb, no state voted for Hillary, Joe, Kamala like Vermont did. The biggest percentage of any state, Bernie helped make that happen. You are wrong, Wes. Of course, Wes is wrong almost everything he says. David Dog says, boo NASCAR. I live 3 miles from Charlotte Motor Speedway. I can hear them from my porch, from my front porch. I've driven right by that. David Dog, I probably drove right past your house. I've probably driven right past your porch. I've driven right past the Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's been, probably 10 years ago or something, but I remember driving past the speedway there. Kiki Street says even Vermont's GOP governor Phil Scott voted for all three too. Okay, all right. Good for you, Vermont. Good for you, Vermonters. You're doing the right thing. Yay, Vermont! You're doing the right thing. Vote for Democrats or Democratic-leaning candidates that caucus with Democrats. Yay! It's hard. It doesn't really roll off the tongue real well, as just like vote blue no matter who or whatever. It's a little wordy, but hey, what else? What else are we gonna do? Big Hook says, unfortunately, people get stuck on their one issue and then refuse to vote for the greater good. Selfishness is unfortunately our downfall. Well, here's what the Republicans, here's why they vote. Here's why normal, average, working class people vote for Republicans. I'm going to tell you right now. It's because God, guns, and gays. They somehow think that they're being persecuted because of their religion, which they're not. They're always crying about not being able to, worship the way they want to. No one is stopping them from worshiping or whatever, but they complain and bitch about God, how God's being taken away from them, and it's not. Guns, they're so afraid that the government's going to come and take their guns away. I mean, they are so in love with their guns that they would give up everything to keep their fucking guns, and they see any type of control or laws or safety laws as an affront to their God-given, supposedly God-given right to have a gun, which, you know, it's absurd. So it's all about the guns. We can't even talk about, God forbid, about, you know, universal background checks, even though 87% of the people are in favor of that. That's everyone. That includes right wingers and everything. Even though we can't even talk about that without being labeled as a gun grabber. And the gays, they don't like the gays, they don't like the trannies, they don't like the lesbians, they don't like the bis, they don't like any of that shit, man. No, no, no. We're going to keep them out of sports, and we're going to keep them out of the bathrooms, and we're going to do this and do that. Keep them out of the military. We're going to, you know, it's a sin. This goes back to the religion type of thing. You know, homosexuality, all that shit's a sin. And that's why they vote Republican. Even to their own detriment. Even if we go into a recession, even if gas prices spike to $5 or $6 a gallon, or who knows where it's going to stop, even if the prices at the grocery market keep going up and up and up and up and up and up, they still keep voting against their own best interests because of these things. This gays, guns, whatever it was, you know, and it's just ingrained in them. It's just, you know, some people are falling away. We're seeing, I think, some people at least falling away from Trump, but this is the way it's been for forever. This God's, guns, and gay thing. That is, you know, I think Hillary brought that up in 2016, and she was right. Hillary was right about fucking everything she said. Go back to her 26 campaign. Everything she said was right. And I think almost everything Kamala Harris said was right. And I think almost everything Joe Biden was saying was right. You know, I'm not going to say everything, but almost everything. But Hillary, I think, I'm not sure what she's ever said that wasn't right. At least in the campaign mode. Let me skip down and needle drop. I'm going to needle drop. Needle drop. Nick Rich says, "Get your stinking hands off me, you damn dirty ape." That is a movie quote from Planet of the Apes, said by the late, great Charlton Heston. I know you guys probably hate him too, because of Bowling for Columbine. Michael Moore put that clip in. Charlton Heston, president of the NRA. Okay, all right. I stand corrected. He's not so great after all. Blood Dragon says, "Sorry, that was a misplaced question mark. Trucker's going to yell at me." Fortunately for you, I skipped down. I didn't even see what you wrote because I'm so far behind. I'm skipping down in the chat and needle dropping. Wes Webb says, "Republicans know how to play the game. That is why they win, even with a minority of the voting public." Republicans, it's not that they know how to play the game, it's that the game is rigged. When you have huge media outlets like Fox News Corporation and right-wing media that would prop up Rush Limbaugh, and even if Fox News was taking billions of dollars in losses for many, many years, and even if Rush Limbaugh, no matter what his ratings were, he was not going to get canceled. He had big money, giant right-wing money behind him to keep him propped up no matter what. And you do that for 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 years. I would say it's a bit of a rigging of the game. It's not playing. I guess that's how you play the game, is you rig it. You got to learn how to rig it. Apparently. That's how you get the minority of the people. Josh sees, can you point on the doll where she touched you? Oh, I forgot about that. Colleen Atwood, right? I remember she put her hand on my shoulder. Like this type of a thing. And then I think she held my other arm out. So I think she used, I think it was a double touch. Shoulder, arm, tape measure type of a thing. Sandyfold says, hey Josh, have you been playing any music instruments lately? Musical instruments. King Street's the only way I go to Florida is if I'm paid to laughing out loud for work. Jolie reminds everyone, please like, subscribe, and share. That would be great. We want to get to 5,000. Don't you guys want to watch me get drunk on Hennessy? We get to 5K Hennessy Day? Is that what we're saying, Jolie? Let's get to 5K Hennessy Day. 5K Hennessy Day, 5K Hennessy Day. Let's get to 5K Hennessy Day. 5K all the way, 5K Hennessy Day. All right, then. All right, then. Damon Dog says, I know that's right, Roxanne, several times a year, and especially May. I needle dropped. I don't know what this is about. May and October, just plan on staying home for the whole week. Or maybe that was for NASCAR or something like that. I am skipping it down and needle dropping, so some of these might not make sense. West, or to me, it makes sense to you, but not to me because I'm taking them kind of like where I haven't seen what led up to this posting. West Webb says, we went into Indy Speedway. Guys brought their own hot rods and paid to run them around the track. They said it cost $30 a lap. That was a lot of money in the 1970s. That sounds like a lot of money now to me. Because I would want to rip off like, I don't know, 10 or 20 laps. You probably don't do that. You probably only do one lap or 2 or 3 laps probably, huh? I mean, what am I saying? I'm going to do 20 or 30 laps. I probably wouldn't even last that long. You know what I mean? It's probably more tiring than you think, I guess. Gator Tot says Utah gave tax breaks to help build a new ice facility here. I'm not surprised because it's Utah, a really red state. Luck Dragon says the reason why Trucker John gets so far behind is because this is by far the smartest chat room in the business. I'll just leave that there. There's nothing for me to say, nothing for me to add on that one there. And I don't know why chats like this on my iPad. I hate that it did what it just did. I meant to scroll up and it went sideways and then it just knocked the chat down to who knows where. But I think I'm kind of where I was left off. Gator says Utah hired thousands of petitioners to help support gerrymandering boundaries. Yeah, I at one time I kind of had some hope for Utah that they would maybe get a little bit purple because there were a lot of people moving there in that I-15 corridor, south of Provo there was a lot of like tech businesses coming in, it seemed like. And I thought that would bring people in from other states like California, and maybe it would help turn the place a little, maybe purple, or at least not quite as ruby red. Maybe it did. I'm not sure. But they're still pretty red there. DPD says, actually, if you read any of the Epstein files, you would see that Epstein talked very high official in Israel about the something back in 2013 about America bombing Iran. Sandy Folt says there's a St. Patrick's Day parade in Buffalo, New York. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be some all over the place. So the 17th is Tuesday. I guess St. Patty's Day is Tuesday. So I'll have to remember to wear some green on Tuesday. I'm going to wear green on Tuesday for St. Patty's Day. DPD says they have already canceled the Formula One races in Bahrain. Yeah, that would be a bad look if all of a sudden Iranian missile came flying through there, you know. I'm still 34 minutes behind. Big Hook says 12:30, so I'm 34 minutes. 34 minutes behind. Gator Tot says Democrats are launching a National Voter Registration Week of action starting Friday, March 27th through April 3rd. Let's do it. Let's do it. Register to vote. Make sure you're registered to vote. Go to vote.org. Check on your registration and make sure you're registered, and get registered if you're not registered. Billy Kid 73 is here. Afternoon all, working today. So just listening. Thanks, Billy Kid, for checking on in. As Old as Zen is here. Hey, As Old as Zen, I haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for popping on in. All thanks for popping on in. All thanks for popping on in. All thank you very much. All thank you. All thank you. All thank you very much. Oh, that's right. Roxanne says Caitlin Olsen plays D. That's right. Roxanne, Frank is DeVito. Yeah, it wasn't Frank. It was the other guy, the middle guy. Maybe Charlie was in that too. And then I did another scene with the other guy. Where we were just running around like crazy football players. Sandy Fo says, any word on the mother Nancy from Arizona is still missing? I haven't heard anything. I don't know. Poor lady. I mean, at this point, you know, doesn't look good for her. But I don't really keep up on those type of things. West Web says, Dims need to do this and that. And the other thing, are you giving them Dims money so that you can boss them around? I don't know who that's addressed to. I don't know. It can't be me because that would be ridiculous. Billy Kid says, I'd push a Chevy Volt before I drive a Tesla. Me too, as long as Elon Musk has anything to do with Tesla. As soon as they get rid of him, I'm back on Tesla. Kiki Streets, the Bolt doesn't have 400-mile range. You're right. It doesn't. Kiki Street says Volt isn't made anymore. Yeah, that was the hybrid. Demon Dog says, I may start riding my e-trike to the store and back. It's only a mile from here. I have a flat tire right now. I ordered inner tubes. DBD says, Jazz Hands Jeffries can't just come out and say no. Instead, he's playing both sides of the fence, waiting to see what his AIPAC donors want him to do. instead of voting with his conscience. Well, so far, I don't think anything has come to a vote. So let's see how he does. West Webb, I want an S Plaid. I might have one someday. I think those are beautiful cars. King Street says X sold 10% of what S sold. Yeah, they were too fucking expensive. At one point, they were, they were listed at like 135,000 or more, maybe. It's crazy. Lainey T. Sang is here. Hey, Lainey, good to see you. Lainey Sang says, missed you in Vegas, John. Just got back this morning at midnight. I was there all week for 3/11 day. Oh. Yeah, I missed you. Maybe next time. Maybe next time you're in town. We won't miss each other. As Old as In says, I'm honestly surprised that Tesla hasn't kicked Elon out yet. Well, I don't know. Maybe the rest of Tesla, maybe they're just as fucked up as he is. I don't know. It's going to come down to economics. When the company is really being dragged down into the mud, and they can attribute it to, especially if more Epstein stuff comes out about him, then maybe there's a chance of getting rid of him. Maybe. DBD says you could not pay me to buy or use another Tesla because the board members already know who and what the fuck he is, which is kind of what I was just kind of alluding to. And they continue to carry him, trash and all. So fuck them. Fuck them. They all smell the same. I think you're probably right. Like, it's kind of what I kind of just came to that conclusion myself. Kinky Streets has a deer in the backyard. Of course, that was a half an hour ago, so the deer is probably gone by now. Adolf Twitler says 28 U.S. soldiers died in Trump's first 14 months of his term, and 68 died in Trump's last term. During Biden's 4 years, 16 U.S. soldiers died, and MAGA still claiming Joe was a warmonger. Yeah, that's because they're propagandized. They are propagandized. And they believe all the shit they hear. Talia says, no way Bernie is effective, Schumer isn't. That's true. I mean, Bernie's, but like I said, I voted for Bernie in the 2016 primary. I've been a big Bernie supporter and a big fan of Bernie's ever since I started hearing him on the Tom Hartman show in the early 2000s. They would do like lunch with Bernie or whatever every fucking week. I'm a Bernie fan. I'm just saying, I think it's time for him to step down or not run again. Him and Schumer both, but I don't mean that to mean that they're the same as far as the type of people they are and how good they are and everything. But I bet you though, if you held their voting records up side by side, they're probably identical or very close to being identical in terms of voting with Democrats. They probably do it 99.9% of the time. Their voting records are probably identical. Love Dragon says, this is my problem with Eric Swalwell. He needs to be running for Nancy Pelosi's seat and not the governor of California. Sorry, I just saw an ad on my TV. Well, I don't know. I haven't, I'm not a political strategist. I don't pour over all of the polling. But I would imagine that Swalwell and his team and maybe the Democratic Party of California or whomever, they see the numbers, they see the polling, they might say, okay, we've got someone running that we feel confident is going to fill Pelosi's seat. It's going to be, she's in a really Democratic district or whatever. So we're not really worried about that one. We're kind of worried about the governor. We don't want a fucking Republican governor. And we're kind of worried about that. We need a name. We need a good Democratic, someone who's got a name. And Swalwell has a bit of a name. I think certainly Californians, I think, know who he is. And, so, you know, that might be the strategy, you know. Again, I'm not a strategist. I'm not an expert. So I don't know. Josh says, I love the picture of Grumpy Bernie with mittens. I know. I love that one too. Kiki Street says, California is a very expensive state for everything. Yeah, well, and it keeps growing. Over 40 million and growing. So. Wes says, Uncle Joe was destined to win. Wes says, Kamala should never have agreed to run without him. How could she do that? He dropped out. How can someone drop out and then you say, well, I'm not running without you? That makes no fucking sense. Go back, take some more meds. You're off your meds, dude. Enough Crypto says $7 a gallon gas will give Dems the Senate. We might hit that. David Dog says Pennsylvania rally was kind of funny when that lady passed out. The only doctor in the entire rally was Dr. Oz. Poor lady. I meant Kentucky. So yeah, I wasn't sure where it was at. I thought it was Kentucky. So yeah, Damon Dog corrected himself. MJ Daniel says gas sure seems to be headed in the direction of $7 a gallon. Kiki Street says Graham Plattner will become Maine's next new senator. I think so. Even with all the Nazi shit, like I've said before, at this point, a guy that had a Nazi tattoo and maybe has said some questionable things in the past, or maybe just kind of despicable things, is still better than fucking Susan Collins, who's horrible. But of course, I think all Republicans are horrible. So, that's nothing new. DPD says, and people need to be concerned about AI by 2030. Over 20 million jobs will be eliminated. The tech bros prefer AI. Why? Because it saves them money. They don't have to pay healthcare or 401ks. It's always about money. That's why slavery was around, because your initial cost was in buying the person. And then, at least here, the way it worked here, I think the slaves would grow their own food and shit. They would grow and process their own food. Not process, but, prepare their own food and shit. So it's not like if you buy a bunch of cows, you got to go out and feed the cows. The cows aren't making their own hay. I mean, they'll go eat the hay, but they're not growing the hay. I mean, so that's what I don't mean to sound so crass or whatever, but that was why they loved slavery so much, because they could just buy some slaves and then they would breed them and they could grow their chattel property there. And I know this sounds horrible. I don't mean to sound like but it's a horrible thing, a horrible subject. And that's why they've been wanting to go back to slavery, as close to slavery as they can get it, with shitty wages and with no worker protections. That's why these right wingers, they don't like OSHA, they don't like unions, they don't like any of that shit, because they want to get as close to slavery as they can get it. And now they're seeing AI, and they're like, hey, wait a minute, look at here. Let's just automate everything. We won't have to pay a workforce. It's all about not paying labor for labor. Kicker G says, I filled 4 5-gallon jugs with premium last weekend in New Hampshire, $3.20 per gallon, along with my car, total of 40 gallons. Now the same place is 80 cents higher per gallon. Yep. As old as in, I donated to Bernie's campaign back then. Then he sabotaged Clinton. I'll never get over that. How did he sabotage Clinton? I mean, like I said, I thought maybe he dragged his feet a little bit in endorsing her, maybe. Is that what you're talking about? I don't think that's sabotage Clinton. I don't know what sabotaged Clinton, because I remember going into election day, she was leading all the polls, and they were saying like Donald Trump had like a less than 10% chance to win, and all this shit. I mean, it looked like a for sure thing. I'm not sure what sabotaged Clinton. She got more votes in the popular. She got 3 million more votes. I guess what sabotaged Clinton, we go back to the Russian collusion, the Russian interference. That's what sabotaged Clinton. It was the fucking Russians, and they're pinpointing these key districts, these key areas through the Rust Belt states. Through that, and they broke apart the big blue wall. There used to be a big blue wall through there. Through Wisconsin and Michigan and Ohio and Pennsylvania. That was a big blue wall, and they fucking broke through that. And they did it just enough to get those electoral college votes. That's what sabotaged Clinton. It wasn't Bernie. It was the fucking Russians. Let's not forget that. That's why he always makes fun of it and goes, Russia, 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 because he knows it's true. Everything with him is about either projection or deflection, you know. Look, Dragon says, what really gives me hope is that 1/3 of all the people who voted for Donald Trump in 2016 actually voted for Bernie Sanders in the primary. That's not only because of the Russian misinformation and disinformation campaigns that they were doing very, very heavily, but also Donald Trump basically took Bernie's campaign and just copied it and made him sound like he was the populist for the people. The people. But it was all a big bait and switch. They took the bait. Hook, line, and sinker. Sinker. Look, Dragon says, you want to talk about rigged elections? Bernie Sanders should have won that primary. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? The primaries weren't rigged. The Democratic primaries were not fucking rigged. Wes Webb says, I used to get told that I look like Charles Bronson. I found that offensive. I was much better looking than he. Jolie says, yes, 5K to Hennessy Day. 5K to Hennessy Day, 5K to Hennessy Day, 5K. How far away are we? We're at 4380. So 44 would be 1,000. Are we 1,020? Oh, that's 40. No, we're like 5,000. What am I thinking? Oh, wait. Yeah, 44. Oh, at 44, well, that's 6,000. Yeah, we're like 6,020 away. That's a lot. That's a lot, guys. We got to get going. We got a long way. I might be 80 years old before I crack open that bottle at this rate. Come on, guys. We need some subs. Wes Webb, member for 23 months driver. Who the fuck is Mr. Webb or WW? I don't know. They're just some losers. But yippee to Wes Webb. Thank you so much for being a member for 23 months. I do appreciate you. That's almost 2 years by my count. So thank you so much for being a member. I do appreciate you. Even though you're a dick. I just had to throw that in there. I'm just kidding. But thanks for being a member. And all y'alls can become members. All y'alls help support the show. Help keep us going and growing. We got a long way to go to 5,000. For some reason, I was thinking like 5,000 was not that far. That's kind of far. It's over 6,000 away. Right? Am I doing the math right? Yeah. 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. Yeah. Fuck. Wait a minute. That's not right. Oh, or am I doing hundreds? Oh, 500 away. Wait a minute. Wait. No, wait. 4,400, 4,500, 4,600. Oh, we're only 500 away. Yeah, that wouldn't make sense because 5,000, if I got 5,000, that would put me at almost 10,000. I think it's the pork, folks. I think someone, yeah, I think it's the pork. It went to my head. Okay, we're 500. We're like 520 something away, 517 or whatever it is, right? Or no, or 600 because that 4,400. Yeah, so we're like 620 away. And I know I'm a half hour behind in the chat, and I know you guys are probably going, God, this guy's an idiot. It's not 5,000. Okay, yeah, I think we're like so that's not quite as bad as I thought. I think we're 620 behind. Right? So let's get it going. Okay, maybe I'll only be 68 by the time we get that. I don't know. To 5,000. I don't know. Brooklyn SJU says registration is great, but then you have to go and vote. That's right. Make sure you're registered, but make sure you vote. And that's for the life of me, I don't understand why people register, but then they don't vote. Let's fucking vote, man. David Weiss, there's David Weiss from Denver. Oh, I think David Weiss is from Denver. The other David, I don't think is from Denver. Anyhow, David Weiss says 7-Eleven Irrational Pie Day. Large pizza for $3.14. Take or bake. Take out or take and bake. Walk across the street. Pick one up for later. Well, there you go. Egolf Twitler says ham sandwiches 4 versus Jeannie Pirro 0. And now an angry drunk's boxed wine moment. Janine Pirro. Oh, yeah. You mean the Janine Pirro? Future SCOTUS? She's going to be SCOTUS. Janine Pirro, can you imagine that? If she ends up on SCOTUS? And it would under a Trump administration, that would not be surprising at all. It would not be surprising at all. if that fucking drunk ass wine box wine drinking bitch ended up on SCOTUS, it would not that there's anything wrong with being a box wine drinking bitch. It's just, I don't know if I want you on the Supreme Court if you're just like constantly sucking off the wine box. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? DPD says, imagine this is a campaign ad for a dim. It's 3 a.m. The dim is in bed. When they get the call switch to a Nazi, they pick up and they are wide awake on Epstein Island with bloodshot eyes. Who would you trust, America? That's an interesting take on the actual ad that they had. Kicker says Model X wasn't that much more than S, just a couple thousand more, but due to it being a SUV, it had about 50 miles less range, not as aerodynamic. But the Model S's, they drop down in price a lot. I mean, where you could get a nice Model S for under 100 grand, brand new, 80, 90. And the X's were still like at 130, 140. But when I was checking them out at one point, way back, years ago. Kika Street says the Falcon back doors did the Model X in, not the price. Yeah, that was just another stupid thing that Musk thought was cool. Oh, I want those doors. Musk is a fucking child. Such a fucking child. But a gross, creepy child. Look, Dragon says the new Ford Bronco electric vehicle looks really cool. Fuck Tesla. I'm just going to add in the blanks there. Fuck Tesla. I haven't seen the new Ford Bronco electric vehicle. Kikushi says, I don't pay to use Tesla's supercharger. Egolf Twitler says we need a young, liberal, and progressive team up, one that attracts moderates but doesn't alienate the left. Are we talking about for president? Like who our presidential ticket would be, I guess? Maybe. Running for president is tricky. It's a tricky thing. Because you got your primary strategy, and then if you become the nominee, you've got a whole different strategy once you become the nominee. It's weird. It's hard. It's weird and it's hard. I mean, YouTube in California is also the 4th largest economy in the world. Yep. And when Gavin Newsom became governor, I think we were down to like, I don't know, I want to say 7th. And under Newsom, they keep going up and up and up. Now they're 4th. I'm skipping down and I'm just needle dropping because I'm really behind, and we're at the point where I got to end the show pretty soon and get ready for work. It's NASCAR weekend. I got to get out there and get some of that NASCAR money. You know what I mean? Josh C says we should send TJ some incense so he can light at 420 to cover the smell, and he could have smoke drifting across the screen. Well, like I said, I don't smell it. I've never smelled it. Anyone smoking pot. I've never smelled it in this room. I very rarely. There's a couple of times when I've walked in like the front gate where I could smell something, and I go, "Whoa, someone's token up." I'm just talking. I'm just having a conversation. I'm not complaining about that. And it's not an issue. I don't need to light incense. It's not an issue. I don't smell it. Almost never. 99.9% of the time, I haven't smelled anything here. Just to go on the record for that. All right? All right. King Street, yeah, James Comey screwed Hillary, not Bernie. That was probably it. The Russians and James Comey. With that fucking announcement. But Comey, was put in a hard spot. Because Rudy Giuliani had Anthony Weiner's laptop, right? I think that's what it was. And they just sat on it for like 10 months. And then all of a sudden they look at it, they said they found some stuff on there. And then James Comey, I guess they gave it to his office or whatever. And then James Comey was required to report back to the Senate if anything new came up regarding Hillary Clinton's servers and all that shit, right? You guys following me so far? So Giuliani or the New York office or whatever that had that, they sat on it. The AG or whatever the fuck, I don't know. They just sat on it. And they waited till it was closer to the election. Then they gave it to Comey. Then Comey had to go back to Congress or to the Senate specifically, I believe, and tell them, hey, we got some stuff we're going to look at regarding Hillary Clinton and emails on our server or whatever. He had to do that. He was required to do that. And then that's what came out. And of course, the right-wing media took that story and blew it way out of proportion. It made it sound like this was all new stuff. But then Comey and his forensic team or whatever, they looked at it and that was on that, whatever it was Giuliani had given to them. And they found out that this was all stuff that they had already seen before. There was nothing new. But of course, by then, I guess the damage had been done because people are lemmings. Apparently. They can't figure out shit. They can't go, oh, that was old shit. So I'm going to still vote for Hillary. But instead it was like, oh, what? There was stuff on her. They found more emails and the thing. Oh my God, I better switch my vote to fucking Donald Trump. So what if he says he's a celebrity and he just could go up and grab women by the pussy? So what? See, at that time, we already knew. Even before Epstein, we already knew what a fucking disgusting sleazeball sexual assaulter Donald Trump was. We already knew that. Even before all the Epstein shit was really coming out. But because Fox News misreported what was going on, then it's like, oh, better vote for Trump. I guess I better vote for Trump. So I don't really blame Comey as much as I blame just the stupidity of the American people. Nick Rich, John's mouth is off. I know. Yeah, it wasn't 5,000. That would make no sense because that would, if I needed 5,000, then that would put me almost at 10,000. Yeah, I'm 620 away. We need 620 new subscribers, guys, for 5K Hennessy Day. 5K Hennessy Day. All right, I'm skipping down and I'm needle dropping. Agoff Twitler, we're the only big tent. See, I just needle dropped that. Kikuchi says no state votes for Dem POTUS like Vermont does. I think I already read that one. Am I getting did I go backwards? David Dog, I was told there would be no math. West Webb, God bless our homeland forever. Deutschland, we adore thee. Deutschland, we adore thee. King Street's Bernie is moderate. Roxanne says, I feel like a homeless progressive. Kiki Street says Bernie is moderate as compared to progressive liberals and in other countries. Well, yeah. I don't give a fuck about other countries when it comes to their politics. I'm just trying to figure out our own politics. Kiki Street says Vermont has so many solar arrays now we export on clear sunny summer days. DPD says there's nothing wrong with a glass of wine or two. Lord knows I love my wine. However, when it goes from a glass to a intravenous usage, hell no. Case in point, Janine Slosh Piro. Yeah, and when you're appearing like in front of the camera and you're slurring your speech because you're drunk, yeah, I think that's problematic. That's problematic. Adolf Switler, the green energy bill Biden and Democrats passed did that. Yep. Yeah, whatever green power we have, the things that are, the infrastructures that are being put up for that. Thank you, Joe Biden. Thank you, Joe. Adolf Switler says QAnon also stormed the internet with Pizzagate in 2016 season. Yeah, there was all kinds of shit. The pizza place that didn't actually have a basement. As far as we know. Adolf Twitler QAnon answered the phone about pedo cabals, but the call was coming from inside the house. Lug Dragon says, hey, trucker, quote the fat guy from Wolf of Wall Street, smoke crack with me, bro. Are you talking about the guy that was in Superbad? Here we are, back to Superbad again. Aaron West says, "Oh, nice. I say Vermont because it's more progressive than North Carolina." See, I'm mid thread here. I don't know if you guys were talking about like places to move to or something. I don't know. Kikushi says, "Aaron, Burlington is the priciest area in Vermont. I live a couple hours southeast." DPD says, you mean to tell me they could find emails but couldn't find the orange twat was a pedophile or a fucking Russian asset? I think you're missing the point. Anna Moore says 100% Aaron West. Vermont does have more progressives than North Carolina. Kiki Street says Aaron West, if Major Ojeda wins in North Carolina, his district. I hope he does. Let's all support the Major. You can go to his social media sites and find probably places to donate a little money to his campaign. You should do that. And you should do that. Tell him Trucker John sent you. I don't know. David Dog, I can move freely throughout North Carolina because with my beard, I passed for MAGA. They're like, you're good with us. You're good. Come on through. Come on through. Kiki Street says, I bought a few Ojeda t-shirts. Awesome. All that stuff helps. Yeah, that stuff helps. Wes Webb says, I have a Hillary sticker on my rear window. Well, look at you. Isn't that sweet? Old Wes Webb's got him a Hillary Clinton sticker on his back window. Guess he ain't so bad after all. I love my coffee. I love my coffee. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. You guys are awesome. Tinker Street says, I liked it when Ojeda read YouTube chat years ago now. Yeah, that's what happens when you get like probably just too many people in the chat and you just can't do it. Luck Dragon says, I'm not one of those people. I don't know what it's called, but this marijuana tastes good. You're eating your marijuana? Well, I guess if it's an edible, they put it in a brownie, but I think it's the brownie that tastes good, not the marijuana. All right, so let's see here. Just that's right. I wanted to put this up real quick. Quick reminders. No Kings, March 28th. You can find out more about that, and you can go to www.nokings.org, and they'll let you know what's going on in your area. You know, so don't forget about that. Let's do that. Let's break all the records for protesting. Let's get those numbers out. Kika Street says from March to September, off-grid pretty much. Building up net credits from my own solar array. I use the credits in winter. David Dog says, thanks, TJ. I got to get up and cook. The kids want tacos. Easy peasy. There's Jolie. Find No Kings. There's the link there. You can find that. And yeah, so make sure you do that. I don't know. I was just scratching my forehead, but it looked like I was doing some weird thing. Like, I don't know. Woo! But I really just was trying to scratch my forehead. So don't take this to me. I don't even know. Does that mean anything? Like, hello, whoop-de-doo. But really, that was an honest to God mistake, or not mistake. But I was just trying to scratch my forehead, and now it looks like I have a big red mark on my forehead. I don't know. Yeah, right, Trucker John. You're so full of shit. We all know what that means. You fucking piece of shit. We know what that means when you do that. That thing that's disgusting, Trucker. You're disgusting. You horrible person. I'm not even going to say what it means because it's so horrible. Anyhow, thanks for being here, guys. I just wanted to come in and let Trucker John know that he's a horrible person for that disgusting gesture he just made, that hand gesture. It's really, I didn't think Trucker John would stoop to that level, you know. But there it is. There it is. You saw it, right? You guys saw it. I'm not the only one that saw it, and I'm not even gonna imitate it or try it myself because I don't want anyone to accuse me of being the type of person that Trucker John is. All right. So anyhow, you guys saw it. We all saw it. And I'm really let down. And I don't know if I can recover from this. I might not. This might be the last time you see Old Tough Cookie. I might just have to hand in my resignation from the Trucker John show after that disgusting hand gesture. Now maybe that's just in the cookie culture. Maybe it's just offensive to us cookies. That might be it. Maybe it was. Maybe it's no big deal to you folks. But where I'm from, you make that gesture, look out. Katie, bar the door. It's on like Donkey Kong. You know? What do you think, Paul? Purple beard guy, what do you think? I just thought he was scratching his forehead, so I didn't notice it. I didn't take offense by it. So, but I don't know. Maybe it is a cookie culture thing. So if that's the case, I think Trucker John owes you an apology. All right. Yeah, Tough Cookie. I had no idea. I apologize. If that was offensive, the thing I did, I'll try not to do it again. Whatever it was, I apologize. Anyhow, guys, thanks for being here and seeing. Thanks for being here. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you. There we go. With the thing is taking its time, but there it goes. Thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. If there's any way you can think of helping me to get more subscribers, to get about 520 more, or no, wait, 620 more. I keep messing up the math. So we can get to 5K Hennessy Day, 5K Hennessy Day. Whatever you guys can do to help us get to that level, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get to 5K. And we'll have fun. We'll have fun on that day. We'll have fun on 5K Hennessy Day. We will have fun on that day, I say. All right, guys. We'll see you Tuesday. The next scheduled show will be Tuesday. Maybe 9 a.m., maybe 11 a.m. I don't know. I'm so confused about these. What time I should do it, what time I shouldn't do it. Probably 9 a.m. Even though it's early, and I'll probably be up late. But hey, whatever, we'll see you on Tuesday. Be on the lookout. Hit that notification bell button thingy. Maybe that helps. Just be on the lookout for old Trucker John. We'll see you on Tuesday. You guys are beautiful. Thank you so much. Love you all. And all that's left now is words of wisdom. All right, you ready? Ready to write this down? Ready for the words of wisdom? Okay, so for today, Saturday, March 14th, 2026, here are today's words of wisdom.
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes. Might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes. But if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid. But doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John live stream. No, this time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. Don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again.
Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food, the movies and bugs. Shining a light on all the social issues. No shows, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. My apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free.
So you want to take a trip down Paradise Road, but it ain't that pretty, it ain't paved with gold. Everybody's got the dirty little secrets, everybody's got some things unknown. But if you ain't real careful, baby, it'll cut you down to the bone. Under all those bright lights, you've gotta learn to ignore the glitter. It's all about fight or flight, and you don't wanna do either. So go on down to Paradise Road, it'll make you wish that you were young. But all it'll do is make you feel old and regret trading in your love for lust. It's all just a big charade, it's all just one big game, and it ain't about love. It's all about the thrills, it's about staying in the hunt, it's about going in for the kill. So head on down to Paradise Road, that's where your friends are now. They're the people that nobody knows. So go ahead and make your big show. So live it up on Paradise Road, just don't let anyone know. It'll be your dirty little secret, it'll be your guilty little pleasure. Living a secret that the whole world sees, hiding in plain sight among the scum and the thieves. It's so damn hard to ever be pleased. Everyone wants to live the good life, everybody wants a piece of paradise. But where would you run? Where would you hide? What would you do to buy a little more time? Grandiose dreams of happily ever after are really just another day's end. And when the sun goes down, you just lay there wondering, can you really do it all again? You're praying for one last shot, you're hoping for one last big win. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along.
Show's over. I'm out of here, folks. Bye.